Hey, I'm Jesse. Let's have a devotion. Judges chapter 10. You didn't know you'd be blessed by the book of Judges today. Judges chapter 10, verse 9. The Ammonites also crossed the Jordan to fight against Judah, Benjamin, and the house of Ephraim. Israel was greatly oppressed. So they cried out to the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against you. We have abandoned our God and worshiped the Baals." All this takes place after the events of the book of Ruth. I wanted to give you a historical perspective. As we move from Ruth to Matthew, I wanted to show you there was an outcry of the people, of repentance, of confession. Now, they abandoned God. It's almost like they traded gods with Ruth. Ruth ends up being blessed. Ruth ends up being used of God mightily. They end up suffering horribly. When you forsake God, it is invariably for something less than He. I'm going to say that again. When you forsake God, it is invariably for something less than He. I'll say it one more time. When you forsake God, it is invariably for something less than God. Ruth got the better deal here. Israel, as she knew her when she arrived in the era of Judges, however many years transpired between the events of Judges chapter 10, verses 1 through 5, and Judges chapter 10, verses 6 through 10, whether it's 20 years or 22 years, or whatever it is, we know that Ruth got the better deal than the people described in Judges 10. Ruth forsook the pagan practices and adhered to the worship of the one true God, and as a result, was delivered from famine, delivered from poverty and destitution and grief even in a way, and she bears a child who ends up being part of the lineage of the greatest miracle in the history of the universe. Meanwhile, everybody around her, who from the onset of Ruth chapter 1 would have looked more righteous, who adhered to the law of Yahweh, ends up, according to Judges 10, going crazy, forsaking Yahweh, worshiping her old God, worshiping Ruth's former God or gods, and as a result, they're judged strictly. Ruth got the better deal. Learn from Ruth. She was right even when an entire nation or the majority of a nation was wrong. Oh, I can't say this enough. Ruth was right. Okay, the Moabitess widow was right, and the political majority of an entire nation chosen by God was wrong. Go with Ruth, not the majority. Go with God, not what everybody else is doing. Oh man, it turned out terribly for ancient Israel when they forsook God. It will turn out terribly for you when you turn away from God to invariably lesser things. Just ask Ruth.